Everybody, hello, hello, and we are back, the big three, and we are coming to give you the big, beautiful breakdown of the big bullshit bill. Before we go in, we're really happy. Bradley Miller, welcome, welcome. Glad that you are here, my friend, and to everyone joining, please get in the comments. Comments make the experience truly live, truly live. Uh, Joining us tonight is the one and the only Candidly Tip. Now look, I done zoomed in. Look how hot. Look, I gotta zoom back out and fix it in a minute. But you know, Candidly Tip, I saw on the Twitter you were talking to all of us about your Substack.
Yeah.
Ma'am, tell us about this data-driven Substack.
All right. So since I'm the data girl per Zach, I I always write in threads. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start writing these in like actual long format. So today I wrote one about the Catalyst report, which is a report about basically after the election, all the voting data. They took all the voting data from 50 states and they got us all the information on how people voted. So it was very interesting to see all that data in one place. And the findings were very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Okay, so Tiffany, we're going to go to the Substack. We're going to subscribe to Substack. Okay, because what's the name again? Because I forgot
It's
the name.
just exactly what it is. Candidly tip.
Candidly Tip.
On
And
sub on Substack.
how much is it per month?
There's no cost. You just go there, you read the articles, it's there. You can see all the information. And all the receipts are in there for you to gather. You need to screenshot it, take it, do whatever you got to do with it.
But how much is it to support you? Because you haven't set your paid tiers up.
I set it for 0 for now because I'm trying to build the following. So I need y'all to come and subscribe, child.
Tiffany, people are gonna subscribe no matter what, right? So it's always free, right? People are gonna subscribe. So mine is free to subscribe, and everything I post is free. But people who want to support you, it's kind of like buy me a coffee or a Patreon. They can just
Okay, well,
donate.
y'all can
So
go give me five. Y'all can go give me $5 if you want.
set up your tiers for $5 or $8, what I do is $80 for the year, and I'm like, because I'm gonna subscribe. Like what I do is just like, okay, $80 to these content creators who are my friends in real life. If you have a Substack, let me just go ahead and cut you at $80 because again, this is work. A Substack is work. All this
It
shit
is
is
work.
work. Ain't nobody doing this shit before. This work week has kicked this whole month. Let me get damn. God damn it. Let me tell you something. Every day in May, every day in May has been 911 help. Okay? Every fucking day. It has kicked every ass I got. All of it. The whole ass. All 28 asses, fat asses, all asses kicked. So it's work to get up here. Like I literally had such a pounding headache that I took a nap and I literally woke up at 9:20. I went to bed at took a nap for, like I said, I gotta get a nap. My head hurts. I got in the bed at 7. I woke up at 9:20. I promise you, had I not had tonight's show, I was gonna probably sleep until the next morning because been having really super early mornings all month. All that to say, Tiffany, you need to get your damn $80, if nothing else,
Okay.
love. If
Well,
nothing else.
in
And
the
then
meantime, y'all go follow me on Substack, Candidly Tiff.
and Shasta said, "Bless Tiff." Hell, fucking bless me too. Shit, it's been a hard month. We thank you so much, Poetic Justice, Poetic Justice, Poetic Justice, for the $2. See, that makes a difference. It will go a long way.
It
And
does.
Kenny, you are glowing. Look at this. So Bradley, yeah, I know my ass ain't glowing. The skin looks ripped apart, but Kenny is glowing. So Kenny, tell us why you are glowing.
Look, I had to take a very long rest and I needed some, real R&R, okay, rest and relaxation. I took a 7-day cruise to Bermuda. I did not fall into the triangle. I did not
I
end up in
wish
an
I was
alternate
hoping that you were
universe where
going to the
Kamala Harris was
motherfucking
president.
yes.
I did not, because if that was the case, then y'all wouldn't be seeing me here. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Good for
Well, we're
y'all,
glad
bad
to
for
have
me.
you back. Now, we're glad to have you back. But I'm glad you didn't find the secret to go into the alternate timeline where Kamala was the president, so you can sneak me over too. But I'll accept. We happy to have you back nonetheless.
We
Look, I'm
are.
I'm happy to be back. I needed some rest, okay? The bags were bagging, okay? They were just falling, okay? It was a serious situation. I was looking very tired. Now I'm well
So,
rested, ready to work.
my bags are genetic, and my sister has them. My grandfather had them. It's genetic. but she actually just introduced me on Sunday to Peter Thomas Roth's eye firming gel or cream or something. And she showed me one eye with it, one eye without it. I'm like, well, if it works on her eyes, it'll work on mine. And I bought some today I haven't used. So we'll see what tomorrow is giving. Kenny, what was the highlight of the cruise? Because I know that you've been on what you've done Carnival before, but you've never. This was a Norwegian cruise, right?
Yeah, so with the Norwegian, it is the
Tell
older
us the
crowd.
difference.
So it's an older crowd, but everybody was super fun. Honestly, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. Norwegian, for the pricing and everything I got, I felt like it was a better deal because they gave a lot of like additional things. Like you had specialty dining, you had a Wi-Fi package included, you had unlimited drinks. Even though I don't drink, so that just went to waste. I just had a whole bunch of virgin drinks and daiquiris and stuff like that. Zero approved. So, but I feel like the highlight was honestly the food. I got a lot of good specialty dining, and I ate and ate and ate and ate some more. You probably can't tell because I got a high metabolism.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Kenny, we
Jesus.
can't tell. We don't see a pound on you, buddy.
But I got plenty of sun. Okay, I got me a nice even tan. I'm looking, a little bit more cookie colored. Okay, I like it. Okay,
Yeah,
I
and
love
so
getting
so
black
where they
hair.
just said Virgin. No, he went on a Norwegian cruise to Bermuda, from New York. Now, Kenny, so was the crowd fun? Because that's what makes okay. Look, I've never cruised. Tiffany, have you ever cruised?
Absolutely.
You had see, I'm never gonna go on a cruise either. So I hate to even say that, but I'm scared of getting norovirus on a cruise. I'm scared of motion sickness on a cruise, and I'm also scared of being stuck somewhere and something happens. I need to get back. I hate all that. But Kenny, what was the crowd like on Norwegian? Because when I look online, it looks like the Caribbean cruise and the Royal Caribbean cruise and the other cruise. They're fun because of the people. What did the Norwegian crowd give?
It was very white. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. But everybody else, interesting enough, there was a lot of international people there, like especially a lot of people of Asian descent, Southeast Asian, stuff like that.
You know, I
But it
like the
was
Southeast Asian descent.
when I tell you, then that's the cruise for you. All the workers were Southeast Asian. Okay, I'm telling you, very, very, very Asian. It was doing what they needed to do. But everybody was super nice. I'll at least say that much. I tried to stay out of politics, but unfortunately, somebody recognized me, and I'm like, "Look, this ain't the
Oh,
time and not the place."
Well, you are Kenny. You're famous. You're famous. You are just like your Virgo sister Beyonce. So
I
it
was
is no
doing well
surprise.
until the fourth day. She's like, "Oh my God, weren't you dancing with Kamala?" I'm like, "Oh Jesus."
oh boy.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. And so okay, that's a plus. That's a good thing. And so to keep in mind, as for people who have not gone on a Norwegian cruise, you do recommend it.
I do
How was the
recommend it.
music? How was the music though? Because on Carnival the music be lit. So how was the music on the
So
Norwegian?
again, with Norwegian, it's not gonna be as lit as Carnival. Now, Carnival is the black cruise, okay? It is the mega bus
Exactly.
seat. But one thing
Uh,
I will at least say, with Carnival, you get more bang for your buck. But if you're just looking to have a good time and you want to get
no,
drunk
with
with a couple of
Norwegian,
buddies
you get
that you
more
will
bang for
never
your buck.
see another day in your life, go with Carnival. Carnival is the party
It's the
cruise
fun
line.
ship.
So Carnival
It's
is
the
the
fun
fun.
shit.
Okay.
But if you just want to, I was there to relax. Okay, I wasn't trying to be stressed. I didn't want no fights to break out. I wanted to truly get some real R and I ain't want no mess. So I decided to go with Norwegian. If you're looking for just relaxation, beautiful views, good value, Norwegian Cruise Line is the cruise line for you.
Okay, but can
Norwegian.
I tell you? Hold on, can I tell y'all something though? But there was a whole post from MAGA last week about Carnival Cruises, and they were like basically saying, "Is this where you want to be?" And it was nothing but how you in on the fun deck, and there's a whole bunch of black folks and they dancing and doing all kinds of. They were showing a video of that, like basically you don't want to be here. They hating on us. They are really hating on us. Okay,
They
but
some
good. I
wonder,
don't. But I don't want them on our cruises anyway. What's the funny thing about that though? And this Kenny being on Fun Ship. The white people have the best time. The white
they
people that are
do.
there, they really do have the best time.
Yeah, because they're gonna drink.
That's
They
what they
gonna
do.
drink, they gonna party, they gonna dance, they gonna have a good old time, and they will get. Black people will hype a motherfucker up. Okay, they be like, go ahead, go. You know how it goes, and that's
Exactly.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, now you know what? I would hype you up, but when I find out you were MAGA, I'm gonna trip that
Well,
ass.
yeah,
You're
no,
not
no,
gonna
no.
find out if anybody's
Look,
mad. But
Yeah.
one thing I would at least to say, everybody leaves politics on the shore. When you get on the cruise ship, even probably the most conservative person that you may not even know who you're talking to, all that shit goes out the window. And when I tell you, we kept it strictly about vacation, no issue.
so again, I don't want to. We are. I promise you, about to get into the one big, a beautiful bill act. But this is a good question from Bernice. Is it too loud and crowded to have a good time on a Carnival cruise?
Go
It
in
can be, but
January.
I feel like you
Don't
still
go in
have
the
fun.
summer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
if you're
in the
gonna go on
off
a
season.
carnival cruise, go like when the kids are not in when the kids are in school. So like a January, a February. Then you have like grown black folks on there. You ain't got grown black folks and them kids. Okay.
Hmm.
So, Venus, I'm gonna make you mad, and probably a lot of people when I to do this, but I am gonna do it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna answer the question. People are not. People hate this answer, and I understand. I hate it myself. I'm a real definition of a workaholic. And so I vacation sparingly. I have to have really truly earned a vacation. My career, my paid career job is in sales, and so if I have not earned a vacation, I don't allow myself to take one. Usually, when I'm getting to travel, it's like work related, content creation related. The entire 2024, there was no vacation. It was only traveling so much for work that there was no days that I could take for an actual vacation. They all got ate up with the campaign. But I'm happy and proud to say it looks like this year I will have achieved the goals set for me by my company early, hence why May has been hell. And I will be able to take a vacation next month. Within 2 weeks, I'm going to Puerto Rico. So that is a mini vacation, the first vacation. But I promise you, if the year works the way it's supposed to work, I will be taking a big vacation, going somewhere overseas with a new phone that will not be making me a target of the FBI, CIA, or whatever else Pam Bundy is running. I just don't know where yet.
Kenny, did you have any issues with like the customs? Because somebody I know was worried. They were like, Kenny's going on a cruise. He may not come back because they might get him. And I was like, nah,
No.
cruises. The cruise people are pretty cool. They're not a problem.
No, I had no issues leaving the cruise ship because I just did a like one and done. So Bermuda, we were there for 3 days. And the reason why
Right.
I wanted it that way is because hell, my ass ain't getting left. So I don't want no issues. But the good thing about it is it was open 24 hours. So we were in and out, in and out, in and out. You just had to scan your key card and they just had to check your
Right.
passport. Simple, no issues.
Contessa, thank you for the emergency fund. Now, the one big beautiful bill act has passed the House of Representatives and is with the Senate. This is, were we surprised that this passed? All this happened while Kenny was in Bermuda. Tiffany and I were still here, boots on the ground.
I mean, is it the one big beautiful bill act or is it one big beautiful bullshit? Because
I,
that's literally what it seems
I
like to
call
me.
it the one big. I call it the one big trash ass bill because
yeah,
that's what it is.
one
It's
big
it's
trash
terrible.
ass bill.
Beautiful trash. It's ass. Okay, the whole bill's ass.
I'm calling the one big bullshit bill too. But here's my question, right? Like, I have been very disappointed from the moment I heard of the one big beautiful bill, knowing that the media was going to call it the one big beautiful bill, knowing that they were going to highlight it, knowing that social media would bury all negative posts. When I went into Twitter today to search for things I hadn't saved, right? Because I realized if I don't save the good commentary from progressive content creators, I'm not going to see them again. Because when I searched for the big beautiful bill, people, all I saw were positive comments, were positive praise posts. The search for this bill only highlights the positive things that people have said. That's it. Same thing when I went to search Jake Tapper. So that was disappointing on Twitter, but not necessarily surprising. And so I'm realizing that why have we not come up with a name that sticks? This is where we always fuck up the messaging. Why have we not come up with a name that sticks for this bill? I've heard multiple Democratic lawmakers call it different versions, just like how we all have a different name. We should have one consistent attack name for the bullshit bill.
Well,
I
you know,
like one big bullshit bill. That just sticks. And you know what's interesting? Who came up with that? Because I literally just said it just out my brain. Who originally created this
It
this
sounded like
bill?
some gay ass rainbow shit from Mike Johnson.
Child, a mess.
It sounded like-
yeah, I don't know why we haven't come up with a name. I think a lot of people have been calling it the big ugly bill. Like, I mean, the fact that we have to like even use this phrasing is frustrating to even call it one something. Like, I don't just hate that we have to call it. The truth is it's a billionaire tax giveaway. That's literally what it is. And there's a lot of shit in this bill that people don't even realize that we need to talk about.
Yeah, Tiffany, for you, what was the most disappointing piece of the bill or the part of the bill that you're most concerned about passing?
Well, the part that no one is even talking about, if you, like you said, you were looking for receipts, the part that's really that scares me is the fact that they want to allow, like basically not allow states to regulate AI. For like it will be like 10 years, they wouldn't be able to regulate AI. That will have a major impact on elections with misinformation. Like that is, and it's not even something that's budgetary. So I'm hoping the parliamentarian kicks that out. But that part is very scary. The rest of the stuff we kind of knew that they were going to do. It's the hidden stuff within the bill that, like I said, a lot of people are not talking about that cause for concern. I know there was Joe Neguse was going at it with what is his name from Ohio, Jim Jordan, and they, like I said, they put stuff in there that's related to like Trump's cases and trying to give like little tidbits here to help him out that are not necessarily budgetary, and that's what really concerns me.
Well, let's talk about that AI for a minute. Just to expand for those who don't understand, I literally saw a video that was completely AI generated of HSS, RFK Jr. pretty much saying that, Chinese is creating a gene or some sort of vaccine to make people gay, which was fully AI generated. It wasn't even real. But from the AI perspective, it looks real. And somebody who, may not be fully educated on what's going on, and especially how much crazy shit that comes out of these people's mouths, particularly this administration, somebody would honestly believe just looking at it that this was actually real. And we've already dealt with when it comes to misinformation, disinformation, and how it's influenced our elections. Even when it came to 2016, 2020, 2024, we saw the infiltration of Russia and all the misinformation they used in order to deter people from actually voting. Imagine if we don't regulate AI, how people are going to be susceptible to all of the stuff that they're going to be pushing. This is dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Tiffany, would you take the gay vaccine?
Oh,
I don't even, it's
I
supposed to
would.
I'm
make me
gay
gay
So
already.
yeah,
What are
like,
you
would
doing?
you take the gay vaccine to see, because
to see if it's gonna turn me gay.
yeah.
I mean, sure, why not?
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
because listen, people
what's
always
the worst that could happen? I mean, I get more sex. Like I don't understand what's
hey, that's what
Well,
I'm saying.
I'm gonna vote no on Tiff because I'm team her husband. Okay, they've been
We
together
all
for
love
so
her. Listen,
long.
wait a minute. That doesn't mean I don't believe the gay vaccine would make you where you wouldn't want.
come on.
I
You
I
still have to have self-control, right?
I am gay, but you human beings are my buffet, and I love to eat a whole bunch of things. So it doesn't mean that Tiffany still wouldn't be probably married in love with her husband,
I feel like
but she may
Jose
acquire
has
a
rubbed off
different
on that.
palate and enjoy the full flavors of life.
The whole thing is just crazy. I mean, this is so crazy nutty.
Tiffany said this
Beyond.
changes subject because I started with you, Tiffany, because we always ask a gay person, would you take a vaccine to be straight? So I've never heard of a vaccine to be gay. So I'm like, what an interesting concept. What an interesting concept.
Very
Um,
Lord knows.
guys, for me, when I look at this, and I'm going to put it back up for everybody, I'm sorry that it's small. Thank you, Venus. That's what I'm saying. Venus gave us a $20 donation to go into the fund. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. As we are slowly building up to continue to collaborate, I guess because Tiffany and Kenny are both in the DMV, I have to hit my ass up there, and we're gonna have to do some live shows. I saw an email come through or a signal check come through today about an event in DC. So Kenny, I may hop a flight, come up there, and maybe we can get together, and I'll stay for 2 days, and we can record something in a studio. I'll get us a studio. We can see what we can do. I'm worried about the Medicaid cuts to a certain extent, but I'm most concerned about the SNAP cuts because Republicans are literally lying right now to their constituents saying that there will be no SNAP cuts. They're still denying that this is going to happen. People are going to be caught unaware. We've already had where some SNAP recipients were not able to get their food stamps on time. And we
Hmm.
saw just the level of chaos that caused back in January. I'm afraid that this is only going to get worse. I also am concerned about the cut in student aid and how they're diminishing how they're diminishing not only the quality of education, but Americans' access to education at the higher levels. That is a concern as well. And again, when you talk about what's buried inside of it, buried deep inside again are the deregulation, censoring nonprofits, blocking access to Planned Parenthood, and removing taxes on gun silencers, and all of these things that no one in the media is talking about. The media is failing us on a daily basis, and I'm like, the American people aren't getting the information. Mickey Anonymous asked earlier about, are those bots that are leaving the comments? No, I'm talking. These are like right wing influencers who make a lot of money on Twitter who are at the top. So they're like, they have their own top influencers, right? So they pay. Twitter pays the right wing influencers just like the large amounts of money, just like TikTok or any other creator fund, and they're pretty much the only people that can really get into the Twitter like paid fund and make any real money. Well, their posts are always at the very top of most searches when you dig in and start to see it. It's the right wing influencers.
You know what the biggest level of misinformation that's coming out, particularly when it comes to this big bullshit ass bill, is about the no tax on tips. And I don't think anybody's done a real breakdown of what's really happening. About 40% of people already who don't make enough income do not even owe taxes when it comes to their
Right.
tips because they're already low income. And here, when you're looking at the offset based off of Medicaid, did you know that literally 2.7 million people who are literally, tip workers actually qualify for Medicaid? And if these cuts were applied, what's going to happen is nearly half of that, almost about 1.5 million workers, will be kicked off of Medicaid. So you're not even offsetting the cost. And if you're looking at the savings, they're only saving about $1,800 a year, which equates to $35 a day. Like,
Right.
that's
And
nothing.
yeah, no, I agree with you, Kenny. It's you're basically you're gonna take some you're gonna give them something to take some the same with that they're using with the standard deduction. They're like, oh, you're gonna get an increase in your standard deduction 1,000 for an individual 2,000, but the same thing for the child tax credit, right? They're gonna raise it 500 more dollars. But
But they
at the
might
end,
get kicked off
but
the
your
tax
kid,
credit.
yeah, and one of the things with the Medicaid thing that they didn't talk about is if you are a certain amount above the poverty level, you are going to have to pay more copays. So yeah, you're gonna get a little bit more money and what in your at the end of the year, but you are going to have to pay more for your health care. Or you might even get kicked off.
And here's the other thing that they don't even calculate. If they do this, right? No tax on tips. What's going to happen is the workers that they already have, their base pay may either stay stagnant or actually decrease because then more people are going to feel like, well, you're getting more money into your tips. So I don't have to pay you what you're worth. I don't have to pay you your hourly or increase your hourly. That's what the situation is. And they're not even calculating that.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
just
a
there's
mess.
no benefit. Yeah, there's no there the benefits outweigh like the risk outweigh the benefits. And that is the part that's really scary to me because I will say this though, what scares me about the Medicaid piece of it and the SNAP part is that those new requirements won't start until the end of next year. So this bill's gonna pass and they're not even gonna be implemented right away. And then it's gonna be a whole thing where, like Zach said, people are not gonna realize what's gonna happen come the end of December. These new work requirements start, and now people are gonna start getting kicked off their plan. And guess what? We're already starting to be in election time. So they were supposed to do this the way the bill was originally set up, it was supposed to start in 2029.
That's
but
right.
they moved it up to 2027. Well, it's like basically end of 2026. So they kind of screwed themselves with this. The
Well, they
question is,
think
when
that
will
they're
people?
afraid. They do think that Democrats have a strong chance of regaining control of the House. So once that happens, this will be the fault of
Right, they
Democrats.
would never get it. Yeah, they would never
Right.
get this
They'll
passed.
blame the Democrats, and that will ensure they win the election in 2028, which it probably will because the American voter is going to, they're not going to even fucking try to remember or even fucking try to think. And the goddamn media is going to refuse to tell the fucking truth. They're going to play right along with it. Every
Agree.
fucking episode of every piece of bullshit. Yep.
Agree.
And Bernice, you're right. They are going to lower the age of dependence to age 7, and so a 7-year-old can do anything for themselves. It's vile. This is some villainous bullshit. And even here, where you can see this breakdown of how it's going to impact taxes and who pays and who doesn't pay. You're gonna people making less than $17,000 a year are gonna pay $940 more annually in terms of in terms of their actual bring home income, and then increasing over time to where if you make over $100,000, you're saving $5,000. Where is this fair? Where is this equitable? Where is this just to the American people?
And where the hell that money coming from? This bill is going to cost $3 trillion, and well, actually put $3 trillion into the deficit. Where are we getting this money from? Because apparently Republicans can pull money out their ass when they want to do something, but when we wanted to pass Build Back Better or we wanted to pass other bills, they were complaining, "Oh, now CBO scores don't count. They don't matter now." But apparently they did when we were in power. You know how that goes.
Literally going to spend $150 billion on a Gold Dome missile defense.
That shit is
Now
ridiculous.
we have money for that, but we don't have 650 million for Medicaid. We don't have 300 million for SNAP. We don't have 150 million for education, but we have money for the Gold Dome that we've never had. And excuse
And
me,
the wall. Don't
never.
forget the wall. Don't forget
And
the wall. $50 billion for the wall that Mexico was supposed to build.
it is indeed the big broke bill. Is one way that we should be looking at it. But again, unfortunately, we're not. It's not being branded to the American people. And most Americans don't know what's happening. But the question is now, Tiffany, do they need to? Now, Tiffany,
Yes,
post
sir.
this onto the TikTok. So, Tiffany, let's see if we still agree.
Okay.
Last week, the House passed the One Beautiful Bill Act, as they call it. And we need to talk about what happens next because now it is headed to the Senate. Trump would love for his bill to be passed by July 4th. I can't see that happening. But Scott Besson says this bill needs to be passed by the end of July in order to avoid a debt default, which means that they need to raise the debt ceiling. That is included in this big, ugly ass bill. Let's look at the Senate schedule for the next couple of weeks. So the week of May 26th, they're off, which is this week. They come back June 2nd. They work that full week. They work the full week of the 9th, which they technically don't really always work the full week. Depends on when they adjourn. Then it looks like they'll be in from the 16th to the 18th, and then they're off the 19th, 20th for Juneteenth, and then they come back the 23rd. Then they're off another week for 4th of July, and then they come back for 3 weeks. So that puts us at the end of July. That's not a lot of time in Senate time. So I don't see how this bill is going to get passed, and it's definitely not going to get passed before 4th of July. This weekend, Senator Ron Johnson came out and said that he does not believe that Republicans have the votes to pass the reconciliation bill. As I said, they needed 50. They can only afford to lose 3, and 4 right now they are likely going to oppose this. On the other side, Schumer came out yesterday and said that Democrats will not be voting for this bill, and it's a handout to billionaires, so they are going to get zero.
That old motherfucker said that last
They
time.
need
We know.
all on their own. Because this is a reconciliation bill, there are certain requirements, and this bill will hit against the Byrd Rule. And that means that this reconciliation bill must be related to spending or raising revenue. So that means that there will be amendments, and whatever changes are made in the Senate will have to go back to the House. And then there's likely going to have to be some negotiations between the two chambers to try to figure out if they can come to an agreement. Do you understand how long this is going to take? This is one of the provisions that likely will be taken out. It says the House bill will ban states and localities from regulating artificial intelligence for a decade, giving federal government more control over the policy. This is a bad policy and it could impact elections. So in conclusion, there's two scenarios that can happen. One is they pass the bill and they get that done before August recess. Republicans cannot pass their own bill before August. That means that Democrats will have to decide if they're going to help Republicans raise the debt ceiling or if they're going to fight against it. I don't know what Chuck Schumer will do in this situation, so we need to pay close attention
Sell us out
and see what we're going to do, because if we don't pass the debt ceiling, we will default on our debt. So more to come on this.
Yeah, he's gonna sell us out. I mean, I can't see him not doing it. Ribbit says the federal government's a lot of days off. Well, they're off from like Congress isn't in session, but they're not actually off. Like tonight, my Congressman Hank Johnson held the town hall in Lawrenceville. I was invited to go, but again, I had to work, and work kicked my ass all month. And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to go to Lawrenceville, Georgia, which is in Gwinnett County, which is hell to get to when you live in the like close to the city of Atlanta. So I wasn't gonna be able to go, but they're not actually off. They're just able to be at home in theory with their constituents. Now some are off, but a lot of them are holding their town hall, celebrating Memorial Day with constituents, and doing things like that.
Here's my thing. That old ass pterodactyl can't be trusted. And by old ass pterodactyl, I'm talking about Chuck Schumer. I am so sick. What he decides to do, because I think you did a great breakdown, Tiff, and you pretty much laid out all the scenarios on what possibly can happen. If they say that they're not going to be able to get the 4 Republicans to vote, then it is going to fall on the backs of Democrats again. And them same damn Democrats that voted for the CR bill last time will probably do the same thing again. And I don't necessarily know what the strategy is, particularly when it comes to these Democrats, particularly in the Senate. I don't know what the deal is. And right now, a lot of people are feeling a lot of buyer's remorse, even supporting any type of Democrat in this moment, because y'all are helping feed into voter apathy by not actually representing the people who put you in office. Just recently, Cory Booker was under fire because he decided to help push one of Trump's, appointees in, and it pretty much canceled out that entire 24 hours of him doing that sit-in in the Senate. Because it's like, okay, are you doing this truly for performance, or are you really going to actually represent the people? Because we need that. We need steadfastness. We need somebody who's going to keep that same energy. We need to continue to play opposition. If they don't have the votes, they don't have the fucking votes. We shouldn't give them anything. I think that we should be like what Jasmine Crockett is saying. Let them figure it out. We've had to figure it out every time under the Biden administration. It's time for Republicans to work their ass off. If they want to tear America down to the fucking ground and strip all of our rights and strip away Medicaid and take all these things away from us, they're going to have to do it by themselves. But it shouldn't be a helping hand from Democrats helping Republicans take shit away from us when y'all are doing these town halls talking about how bad these policies are, but then vote for the shit anyway.
No, since you woke it up, Kenny, I do want to talk about what your thoughts are from everybody around Cory Booker doing that. Like, it's like,
my sister didn't burn too many bridges.
And Bradley,
there's nothing I can do for her.
What it is, Bradley. I don't know what was his damn apology. No, was it?
He didn't even say.
He just said, because somebody helped me with the First Step Act. I watched this shit. Somebody helped me with the First Step Act, helped me pass the First Step Act, which really was a No Step Act. Really wasn't really shit in there, because when you're looking at a number of people that were actually pulled out of prison under the Trump administration, nothing really happened. They released like 3,500 people. Under Biden, they released nearly 40,000 people. Under Biden, Biden actually utilized the First Step Act and got people out of prison. Trump didn't do that. Trump didn't do a damn thing. He just talked that shit. So I don't even understand what the fucking reason was, Cory. And we got to have a conversation. I'm going to continue to, help out the best way that I can and be helpful. But I can't help you if you don't want to help your damn self.
Yeah. So here's my thing about the Cory Booker thing. Cory Booker, he's full of shit, okay? I'm just gonna be honest, okay? Today I saw that he is going to put out a book. Since we're gonna talk about a book, he's putting out a book about standing, about the time that he stood in the. When I saw that shit, I was like, you know what? We are embarrassing. We cannot sit here and complain about all these grifters when we got fucking grifters in our own damn party. I'm sorry. You trying to listen? You did that? Did you do it to write a book? Because that's what it looked like to me. And that's bullshit.
I'm a fuck.
I'm lost for words.
Exactly.
I'm done.
Exactly, Penny.
I'm
It's coming
going
out. By the way, it's coming out in November. You could buy it in November, okay? The
I ain't
fuck?
buying that shit.
I'm not fucking with
I'm
it.
just saying. He's just a disappointment. I don't know. He just
He
disappoints
did
me.
what he did on the floor, and that was great. And I gave him his props. I made my video, but there's too many both sides. There's just too many political missteps that this man is making, and it's like he does it secretly, like we're not going to notice. He talks out of multiple sides of his mouth. He was one of the first, members of Congress on TikTok, using TikTok, building a platform on TikTok, engaging with TikTok content creators. But he was one of the first ones to vote to ban TikTok. Now, I'm not disagreeing that, I have a lot of feelings about the ban, both good and bad. But it's how he moves he moves in a way that is extremely, I just don't like it. It's sneaky, it's snaky. I don't like it. I can't fuck with it. I'm done. This was the final straw that broke the Cory Booker back. This is a man I will not be able to support. Too many missteps. I'm not a fan. Will I, I'm not going to attack the man. I'm going to keep it quiet unless there's a reason to come out against him. But I want to go on record and say, Cory Booker, I'm not a fan. I don't fuck with you.
Well, I think to your point, Zach, what bothers me about Cory Booker is that I just feel like he's fake, right? Like like you said, he'll talk out one side of his neck, and then the next he'll talk about the other side of his neck. And you can't sit here and be like, I'm a fighter, and then turn around and say, oh, I'm gonna allow this man to be confirmed, and I'm gonna vote for him. Like you can't do both. Like it doesn't make sense. And you're the only free. Not even Lisa Murkowski voted for that fool, and you voted for him because he is your friend. And it just looks like what people hate about politics, which is that they feel like people are bought. This is what people say. They're like, oh, politicians can be bought and all this, and that's what it looks like. And you cannot. There's no way any of us can defend it.
And there's better in New Jersey. I hate to say it, right? Like, I'm loving Monica. I'm loving Raz Baraka. I'm loving the work that they're doing and how they're standing up for the people and what their actual rhetoric is and how they're doubling down to live in that. The Democratic Party has too many people who are bought and sold. And that's just the problem. That's how you can turn they turn on a heartbeat when the money is right for them. And they know that they're not stupid. They know exactly what we've just said is that the American people have a short memory and no one's going to know and no one's going to care. And 2 weeks later, they know that.
No. Then everybody's going to remember this shit. I'm just telling you right now. There's not too many missteps that black people can make.
I hope so.
We are held to a whole entire different standard. So you already know memory's going to be long when it comes to Cory Booker. And I ain't going to lie to you. I'm embarrassed. I stuck up for Cory Booker. I fought 10 toes down, and it's just a slap in the face when people call him performative. That's what's pissing me off a little bit. And that's why I said we're gonna have some conversations, bruh, because this is not it.
Yeah, McIver didn't hit anyone. McIver was being pushed. McIver was being shoved. McIver was trying to like stop Raz Baraka from being assaulted, and that's what that was. For every, there was no hitting anyone, and that's a very false narrative. I looked at the tape myself. Monica didn't reach out and hit. Representative McIver didn't hit anyone. And so, do we primary them? I'm not saying primary. No, don't waste money, right? Cory Booker's probably going to win that seat. So I'm not saying primary anyone. I'm just saying Zachary Kirk, as a human being, as a person, as a content creator, as someone in the space doing commentary, will not be offering and levering support for Cory Booker. He's not the only one. You ain't never heard me say shit right about Elizabeth Warren either.
My thing is that the thing is that the thing about Cory is the people like for Senate. Listen, I don't live in New Jersey. My sister does. They're gonna vote Cory Booker in. Listen, when you are actually a senator, they're gonna vote you back in. People will forgive him for this in New Jersey. The issue is, it's nobody don't care about this.
New Jersey. I don't think they don't care.
They don't care. But my issue with Cory Booker is that, people have been mentioning him for president. And I'm sorry, but when I see stuff like this, it makes me side eye Cory Booker for president. It's not happening. Like it just I said it the night I saw that, I was like, yeah, 2028 ain't happening, bro. Because you can't people you the thing is we need to build back trust, and this does not show trust.
Now I'm getting ready to move to Kenny and Bugs Bunny. But before I go over to Bugs, I do want to say, like, I want to do a quick game. I'm going to name two people. You tell me which one you will vote for in a primary.
Oh boy.
Cory Booker or Pete Buttigieg?
People to judge.
Pete.
Cory Booker, Andy Bashir.
I probably would go Andy.
I would say Andy as well.
Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom.
Pete.
I'm sorry.
Pete.
No, I'm sorry. Cory Booker or Gavin Newsom?
Cory.
Corey. I'm telling you,
That would feel dirty. That one would feel a little bit
I
dirty.
don't fuck with him at all. I do not fuck with Gavin at all. He just looks like, I don't know how to explain it. His face is so airbrushed. He just doesn't look like he's alive. He looks like a mannequin. I don't fuck with him. He's greasy. He's grimy. He's undercutting. He cannot be fucking trusted.
Oh, again, and talking about airbrush doesn't look alive, we have Jake Tapper, who was officially done up for the release of his book. I will not say the name of the book. I'll ask my co-host to not say it either. Don't give that shit any extra press. The book is out. It was an Amazon bestseller before it was even released, which is always suspect. When you understand how these things are calculated. So, of course, money was pumped into it, trying to make it a bestseller in terms of the pre-orders and who pre-ordered the book. But I anticipate this book is going to be an epic fail in time. But we will see. We will see as sales and weeks continue to go out. It's dominating the news cycle. This was Kenny's official return to social media right here.
I'm back, bitches. So the girls have been fighting since I've been gone. And there's some shit I need to address. Number one, Jake Tapper, you wrote this book called The Original Sin. Well, The Original Sin was your motherfucking having you. Because what kind of deplorable, self-serving bastard goes on a book tour and attacks someone who's just been diagnosed with cancer? You want to talk about original sins, but let's talk about the original sins of the mainstream media. You guys have been covering up Trump's cognitive decline since 2017. The media has been downplaying Donald Trump's decline and normalizing it for 8 years now. Even with documented evidence from experts and psychologists and people who study dementia, which explains Donald Trump's erratic behavior, incoherent sentences, and made-up fucking words. You want to talk about a cover-up? Let's talk about the fact that you're trying to rewrite history and cover up the fact that you're implicitly biased for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump was inarticulate yesterday when he was explaining the child care policy, when he had to answer about the deficit. We can accept that, right? What do I do for a living? I analyze economic policy and the comments politicians make about the economy. He didn't utter a single coherent sentence. Many of the things he said, there weren't even verbs in his sentences. It was Marco Rubio, my daughter Ivanka, childcare is childcare. Right. And the fact that we're not covering that, like, let's be clear, day in and day out, we're saying, I need to see every single one of Kamala Harris's policies, and I want to see every punctuation, and I want to see it listed in 15-point font. There is an absolute double standard in the way these two individuals are being covered. Remember how Joe Biden performed at the debate. It was a disaster. Everybody here at the table knows it was a disaster, and we talked about it day in and day out. Where is the media talking about what Donald Trump presented? If under that word salad there was policy, bring it on. Let's talk about it. I would love to do so. Donald Trump is invited to come on and let's discuss it, but there isn't a policy to discuss. So anybody who's passing it off is just really saying, I just want those tax cuts. And for any of those CEOs, especially of publicly traded companies who think the economy's been a disaster over the last 4 years, that is a whole lot of baloney, because check out the performance of their stock, check out how they've done personally, and it's been extraordinary.
We watched in real time while you beat down Biden for an entire month over debate performance, yet You didn't have that same energy for Donald Trump when he got incinerated by Kamala Harris on the debate stage. Not only was Trump stuttering, this motherfucker went onto a whole damn tangent about immigrants eating cats and damn dogs. You want to talk about a cover up? Let's talk about the fact that you tried to cover up the fact that every economist said that Donald Trump's plan would destroy the economy.
It's a study done by Bloomberg Economics, and they found that Harris's plan did not have much change in either the GDP or inflation, which in a sense is a good thing at this point. But look at what Trump's plan would do. Trump's plan would cut the GDP by 8.9%. Let me put that in perspective for you. This is roughly twice the amount that the GDP went down during the financial crisis.
Wow. Let's talk about the fact that you try to cover up Kamala Harris's plan for an opportunity economy that would invest in the lower and working class. And when we're talking about working class, we're talking about all damn people, people of color as well, Bernie. Y'all were too busy playing cover up for Donald Trump that y'all never covered Joe Biden's accomplishment. Record low unemployment, continuous job growth, historic nominations to the federal benches, the largest clean and renewable energy investment in decades, historic infrastructure bill, and a lower inflation rates compared to other G7 nations. The bounce back under Biden was unprecedented, but yet y'all let these accomplishments go uncovered. And for somebody who was struggling cognitively, why was he doing so much good for our country? And I already know what you're going to say because you guys are so predictable. Well, the American people didn't feel it. The American people didn't feel it because you didn't cover it. What they feel wasn't factual because they didn't even know it fucking existed. That's the fucking problem. But now they're feeling it. They're feeling the impacts of Donald Trump's presidency, and they're seeing all the rollbacks of all Joe Biden's accomplishments that they benefited from that they didn't even know about. Fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, Jake. Fuck you, Brian. Fuck you, CNN. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you, Mika. Fuck everybody on MSNBC.
Fuck Joe and Mika. Fuck Joe and Mika.
I said what I said. Okay, fuck them all. Well,
Who
all
fuck
of them.
Joe and Mika? If anybody should be fucked, it's Joe and Mika.
And child, they busy fucking each other, child.
Exactly.
And whoever else they let up in that bedroom, that where it smells like mothballs and milk of magnesia. You know, that was excellent commentary, Kenny. It was a phenomenal video. It was a great return. So kudos to you for bringing it back right from the Bermuda Triangle. Somebody in the comments just said we should have that comments going on I was right tour. So please, come back and tell me who you were, because I'm taking that idea. We are hitting the road, people. We need to do like a one show, if nothing else, called the Bitch, She Was Right, Ho tour.
Even if we just do a one section of just one section a week, when some shit goes down, well, Kamala was right.
It needs to be a whole breakdown. It really needs to be like a comedy tour, because it's true, it's real, but again, bring it in and batch it into comedy, because people need to understand and see it. And this is just, we're not even 6 months into the Trump presidency, and we already see everything that has happened in that first 100 days. Kamala was right about all of it. All of it. All of it. And so, I don't even. It is it's disappointing that the media is not going to be it's only going to get worse. The media is only, unfortunately, going to get worse. Someone also said that Stephanie Rule is being recruited by CNN. Shit, she can take her ass to CNN. Shit, same level of credibility in my eyes. Now, I mean, Stephanie Rule is a little bit above Jake Tapper, but shit, not a whole lot in my eyes. I blame all of them. I can't lie. I blame them all.
And Tiff, what's your thoughts on the breakdown? Because honestly, I just feel like we're wasting so much time looking.
Also, before I block Billy Henry, says that, I guess he said that gay sex smells like cocoa butter and feces. Well, Bill, I wanted to say this. I don't know what kind of gay sex you're having. Perhaps you've contracted gayism from that vaccine, but I have never in all the years of my life used cocoa butter in any capacity. I mean, I do hate chocolate. But whatever you have been doing and whatever proclivities that you are prone to, you need to keep that to yourself and off of YouTube, because we do not want to know. We do not want to know.
This obsession, this hypersexuality. I mean, I don't necessarily know what's going on, but I do notice that, particularly from trolls or from quote unquote het men, They get upset when they see gay people speaking up or speaking out for women,
Well, why
advocating, being
cocoa
fully
butter?
educated, civically engaged. The whole
Yo,
thing is they
how
have
is
these
yo?
homoerotic nature when it comes to us. You notice it's like hypersexuality when
But
they
why
talk about us.
of all the
They they
things?
they describe us
Vaseline, but
as
cocoa butter?
moist and
Right,
juicy and sweet and all these things, and I'm just like,
there's a lot of lube options in terms of household products, perhaps, but cocoa butter?
I don't know. Maybe he's been partying with Diddy. He probably used baby oil, and we already understand that that dries you out. So I don't even understand that. But that's for another day, another topic.
Another topic. Um, you know,
Okay. Okay, let's
speaking of the slurs, I have a little something here. And Kenny, I hate to do it to you. I hate to do it. Child, don't get mad. But you might. Because when I first saw this, I was just waiting on. I said, "Oh, I gotta play this for Kenny's ass." Have you seen this video, Kenny? I've just posted. I posted it late on purpose, hoping that you wouldn't see it.
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to drop a mic on your ass. Cause y'all, I can't deny. I can't deny it. Kenny love him some Chick-fil-A. No, there is nothing Chick-fil-A can do to make you put down those chicken sandwiches because they smile in your face and say, "My pleasure." But this article made me proud to say I have not eaten there since 2012. In Amon, Idaho, a quiet suburb, a horrifying story of workplace racism is unfolding at a Chick-fil-A franchise that reads like something straight out of Jim Crow's handbook. Thomas Wade, a black man hired as a cook at the Chick-fil-A location in December of 2022, endured nearly a year of relentless racial harassment at the hands of his white and Latino coworkers, many of them members of the Ibarra family, who also held leadership roles at the restaurant. According to a federal lawsuit Wade filed, he was repeatedly called ape, monkey, blackie, the N word. He was mocked with slavery reenactments, told he belonged in a cage, and referred to as antique farming equipment. You know the word. Let me make this as clear as possible. Racism doesn't disappear when you pray over the food. It doesn't vanish because you're closed on Sundays, and quoting Bible verses doesn't absolve you of being complicit in anti-black violence when it happens right in your kitchen. Now, Chick-fil-A corporate is doing what corporations do, playing the independent franchisee card. But here's the thing. You can't wash your hands like Pontius Pilate when your name is on the sign. Your branding is in the ads, and your policies are nowhere to be found when black workers are being terrorized. Happened to Thomas Wade is not an anomaly. It is a clear pattern. A pattern of black workers being used, abused, and discarded in white-owned workplaces that perform family values in public and harbor racial violence behind the counter. That is what Chick-fil-A has done since 2012 when I started boycotting them. And is that a beer families, the management who said that their hands were tied to Chick-fil-A Incorporated, who claims that they were unaware? Spare us. You were unaware. You were uninterested. You were unconcerned. You were unbothered. And you were fine with it until you got sued and this story finally became public. And I want to say to Thomas Wade, brother, we see you. We believe you. And we hope you take every coin they owe you with extra Polynesian sauce, even though that shit ain't that good no damn way. Kitty,
Look, here's the thing.
can I
about
finally get you to stop?
Look, I haven't been able to eat at Chick-fil-A because they shut the one down in Silver Spring. So, but I hear that they just reopened. Just like I'm not going.
This is the
Um,
actual article for anyone who, because that actually wasn't the right version. That was the one I did right before I put the graphics on it. So this is the actual article, people. Shut up, ape, before I put you in a cage. Black Chick-fil-A worker in Idaho filed 30 complaints, but was forced to endure the racist abuse because harassers couldn't be fired, lawsuit claims. And it basically is like this family. This family went on a terror spree, and they just refused to let up. And it's really bizarre. It's really crazy. But again, these are black people in Idaho on purpose.
I'm laughing at somebody said there are black people in Idaho.
that
Apparently
was the
so.
question. Now I'm like, Lord Jesus, Idaho seems a little like it seems like it's an Idaho problem too. I I wouldn't meet with no hoe in Idaho, and that ain't just gonna happen. I'm sorry, that's just
You and me with
no,
no hoe and Ida.
no, no. It's like there's not that many black people in Vermont.
there are people, and please do send this to your daughter. I send it to and I send it to a group of friends. I have one friend who eats Chick-fil-A every morning, and I get it. The damn chicken probably tastes good. I don't know. I haven't had it in a long time to tell you what it tastes like.
It
I
ain't
have
all that
been
no
in
more.
situations where I've had to actually buy Chick-fil-A through my company for events because there was like some towns there's nothing else that delivers for a particular meeting, and I still would not eat the damn chicken or even drink the coffee. Not one piece of it's going to be ingested or digested by me. But like and I know there's some people out there probably saying like, well, it's not Chick-fil-A's fault. This is a fault of a franchise. Let me tell you something. Why is a store still open and bearing the name of Chick-fil-A? Any single Chick-fil-A that has allegations of racism, sexism, homophobia, if the company does not believe in it and it does not align with the brand values, why is that franchise still open? And I say that because of this. You mean to tell me on any given motherfucking, Lord forgive me, Sunday, if a damn Chick-fil-A opened up and popped out a piece of goddamn chicken and a biscuit, you mean to tell me that Chick-fil-A wouldn't fucking close that shit? You know they would close it. If this same Chick-fil-A served a chicken biscuit on a Sunday, there would be hell to pay. So why is there no hell to pay when you done sat here and said you're gonna put this black man in a cage? Shut up, ape, before I put you in a cage. There's no response other than this is on the franchisee, not on corporate. This is a corporate problem. It keeps happening with Chick-fil-A over and over and over and over again.
But
They're
it's
one
not
of the
going to be a
this is one of the
Chick-fil-A
most
issue.
egregious companies. This is the most egregious fast food company in business. I feel like Chick-fil-A has had more racist allegations from workers than damn Cracker Barrel. They got damn whip in the logo.
Look, Crackle Barrel, they got them signing NDAs, and they trick you with that syrup. I'm not sure what they got in them ingredients. But one thing that I do know, under the Trump administration, things are only going to get worse with the
Facts.
rolling back of all the protections when it comes to workplace discrimination. But not only that, the reason why a lot of people are also pushing things like the Equality Act is to help out in situations where they can't, discriminate against your sexual orientation or what you identify as. We're starting to see a lot of people, even quote unquote, people that look like us, speak like us, display transphobia, homophobia blatantly. We starting to see an attack on women. We're starting to see people make excuses for abusers. Things are getting worse, and it's only going to continue to get worse because we allowed a platform for a prejudiced person who was convicted 34 counts and also liable for sexual assault to be our commander in chief and gave him a podium to spread hatred throughout the country. So things are going to continue to get worse. This is a cultural thing. This is a political thing. All of these things are intertwined. And as long as we do not hold either Trump accountable and hold all these other people accountable and call them out for their foolishness and their rhetoric, it's going to continue and continue to get worse.
Mhm.
What we need is people like I'm gonna give a shout out to my girl Lene. She went on the
Yes,
Breakfast Club
we saw
and
that. Woo.
she is the prime example. I was gonna do a video for her, and I probably still will. She's a prime because everybody's talking about, they're just attacking Jess with the mess, but Jess with the mess has been a mess for a long time. She's not so damn hilarious. There's nothing interesting about her, and we done said and drug her every which way, and she continues with the rhetoric, and she continues attacking trans people, even though trans people ain't never did to her anything to her. But I think she's still upset that somebody called her trans passing because even to her own credit, she said a man thought that she was trans. And that's probably the reason why she feels some type of way. Not our problem, sis. But to my point, when it comes to Lene, just because you're in a room with toxic individuals, it doesn't mean that you need to switch up or change who you are based off of who's around you. We need people like Lene who are steadfast and true allies and won't change or switch up just because they're trying to promote their show. One thing that I do love about that is we have true allies. And that was a perfect example that when you're behind closed doors and you're the only person in the room and everybody's talking shit about your friends and your family and people you break bread with, you
Mhm.
need to check them right then and there to let them know that you're not the damn one to play one or two with because you're not going to go there and you're not going to backstab the people who you're continuously saying that you're for.
No, I thought she did a really good job, Penny. I watched it. I saw that clip earlier, and I was like, the way she did it so calmly. and just kind of and didn't get mad.
She
And I
didn't
think
back
that's
down nothing. She said,
she
"Nah,
backed down and she was like, a uterus? Yeah, a uterus. So yeah, that's who has babies, right? Okay. And it was the way she did it was just perfect in response to someone being so ignorant. And
mm-hmm,
that's exactly what Just Hilarious is. She's ignorant. And she's purposely trying to cause cause division and cause drama. And Lene wasn't having it. And I thought she handled it so perfectly. And I think that's how we have to handle some of this rhetoric that comes out of people's mouths instead of clapping back and fussing with them. Just what's the problem? Like what is it that you're not understanding? Because if you understand how babies are made, right? There is a difference between gender and sex.
yes,
I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Like this, the whole thing is just so stupid, and how people identify is none of your business. And
exactly,
I'm just tired of the conversation about the whole what is a woman thing drives me up the goddamn wall. And
It's
they've used it to cause this chaos. And then when we're talking about like the election and why did certain people vote a certain way, and then we start looking back and we start seeing all of this rhetoric. Like, how do you combat this foolishness?
you
And
can't.
black people and people of color falling for it? That's the
'cause it's
part that's killing
easy.
me.
It's
That's the
easy.
biggest problem. That's the biggest concern. It's why is our community so susceptible to the misinformation, and why can't we break free of the cycle?
Right.
Easy, and I don't think a lot of people, address the real elephant in the room when they're having this because again, everybody has their own implicit biases and everybody has their own prejudice that's inside them. And when you're preying on people's prejudice the way that Republicans try to utilize this and weaponize it to go after people of color and other marginalized groups to keep us divided because that's the goal. A house divided will never stand, right? And
That's
they
what
know
we are.
that when we find community with people we have commonality with and people we share that intersectionality with, if we can become unstoppable, we can create a coalition that we can galvanize to push an agenda that helps all people of all races, genders, colors, classes, all of those things. But however, when we're trying to break this thing down and people start bringing up just things that have nothing to do with anything, just break it down like this. When people bring somebody says, okay, well, with this trans person, or how do you feel about this? Well, first of all, trans people aren't trying to take away my Medicaid. Trans people aren't trying to make me lose my federal job. Trans people aren't going to affect whether I'm going to be able to have a child or not, or have access to contraceptives. No, these people aren't doing anything to me. The people who are is the same person who's talking to you with this talking point. Your ass is the fucking problem, not trans people. So what Jasmine Crockett did was correct. Trump or trans, because it damn sure ain't
Trump or
trans.
trans. Shout out to Jasmine. I think, yeah, say it again, Kenny. It's what?
Trump or trans. Come on
Bitch,
now.
that's a great way to end the damn show. Trump a motherfucking trans. Here, we can have a whole damn episode. Shout out to Lene. I was fortunate enough to go to her like big show reveal, big show party, and I think I'll post that tomorrow. I'll post I'll make a little mashup tonight of some of like a reel and post it and then give her a great shout out. It was a great event. And if you guys know Lene, as Kenny knows her, had a chance to meet her. She's very much like a Kenny in that, the public Lene is not the private Lene. And I just, whenever I get to see and engage with Lene, I'm like, I know your social battery, baby, is low as hell. I know like you may have like a good 2 hours that you can deal with these folks and you be over it as fuck. And so I can only imagine how Lene felt in that moment. That shit came out so smooth and consistent. And she basically kept it going right back to the point. That's just who she is as a person. She's like, no bullshit. No bullshit. She doesn't have time for it. And she keeps it moving. So, with that being said, Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us. And I think we've had a good time. And everyone, thank y'all for being out there. And we love you. We love you. We love you. And we will see you all next week.
Bye, y'all.